What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP. This is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everybody.
And why do you say it like that?
Like what?
Why didn't you say it with more enthusiasm? It sounded like you were
Okay.
gargling something to drink, and you just said, hey, everybody.
I just had a sip of the Red Bull. Anyway, welcome back to the FilmBros podcast.
All right, everybody. Just to start off with the first topic, we lost a great one the past couple days. At the time of recording this, it's only been like 3 days, but a few days ago we wound up losing a great actor. His name was Ray Stevenson. Now, some people know him from The Punisher. Some people know him from he was in Retaliation. He was the Firefly.
Okay.
He played Gar Saxon. He voiced him in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And in Rebels. Played Volstagg in the Ragnarok in the Thor franchise. And most notably recently is playing one of the, I don't know if you remember him in the Ahsoka trailer, but he was the dude with the orange lightsaber.
He's like one of the Inquisitors or something like that. Whatever that person was.
Yeah, so his upcoming role is, I'm assuming, his last for right now, from what we know. Now, there wasn't a cause of death just yet, so because it's still new. I just thought I mean, what do you think? I mean, have you do you remember his work?
Well, yeah, I remember some of his work. I knew he voiced people in Star Wars. He's a big Star Wars person, and then yeah. So, and then I remember him. Well, I remembered him from Punisher Warzone. It's not my favorite Punisher movie, but I mean, I remember him from it. So this is just to shed some light on his death, because yeah, it is sad. Losing an actor is always sad, and if you're more into his work, then sympathy out to you and all that. But may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't anything crazy, but I'm sure we'll find that out in the days to come.
Yeah. I just wanted to start off the episode like that. I know it's kind of a bummer, but I like paying respect where, respect is due.
Exactly.
But now that we're through this sad part, Josh, I'm about to make you even sadder because we're about to talk about The Flash. Now, we wound up getting a final trailer today.
Yeah.
The final trailer, from what I hear, is basically the Chinese trailer that came out, and I kind of showed it to you. It's fine. I want to rewatch it. I want us to look at this again. Okay. Because right after that, we're going to talk about the reviews that happened, because there was a special screening for The Flash. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the reviews, we got to take it with a grain of salt, because apparently WB didn't give out the final cut of the film. Apparently there were scenes missing from the film, key scenes, and they didn't give the post-credit scenes or anything like that.
Is this that fan thing that they were doing?
Yeah, they did it in different places, and I believe the one in Los Angeles, I think they got turned away.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, if it's the fan one, I heard about that. That movie theater turned them away. Like cosplayers and all. Just said go away.
You want to know why? Because all the influencers were in there already.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
They got all the people that are like big name, like Soups, all them. They went in first, and
that's fucked up.
When it got packed, everybody got turned away.
That's fucked up. I heard multiple people, because some of my mutuals live out there in LA. I guess they were saying that they were in line for it, and that people they knew got turned away. And it's just like either their movie theater was small, which I doubt. I think a movie theater holds up to like almost 100 people.
And especially if you're doing an early press screening, you got to understand, people are literally going to fly in to see this.
Yeah. And there was just, especially if it's not in your fucking city, you know what I mean? If you got to go a whole state over, then, you got to do what you got to do. Like, but to be turned away, especially people in cosplay, like, man, that's crazy. Like, it's hot as it is. And if you're like melting in a fucking suit, to make it worth it, you know what I mean? Like the experience and whatnot. And then just to be turned away, that's fucking sad. That's sad.
Yeah. Sucks. But for the people that did watch it, there was some reviews out there, okay? And we're going to get into the good reviews, the bad reviews, the mixed reviews. And after this trailer, though. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And yes, I know we're doing the trailer early, but this is important because this is a ongoing beef that me and Josh are gonna have until this movie comes out. Because we just we don't agree. We don't see eye to eye with this movie at all.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready?
Hi.
I love you.
Thank you.
Passing you into Mr. Wayne.
No, please don't.
I need you here now, Barry.
So you're saying you could travel back in time?
But Bruce, I can fix things. I can save people. I can save my mom. I can save your parents.
You can also destroy everything.
Love you, Mom. I love you too.
So how was it this week? How's school?
School was good. Oh, this is mad trippy. Dude, this is catastrophic.
This world must die.
I'm not gonna lose her again. It's not Clark.
My name is Kara. I will help you.
Interesting group.
Want some help? Wait, he's Batman?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Oh, this rips! We're in uncharted territory. Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
You have fancy friends.
No, it was an Uber. Oh, exec.
Your thoughts?
Oh man, I
just want you to say what I'm thinking. If you can acknowledge that, I feel like this conversation will go a lot.
Well, yeah, because I noticed it. It has big CGI problems still. Some of it looks better than other scenes. If you notice that.
Yeah.
Some of it like that scene. If you guys want to check it out on YouTube, go ahead. But that scene where he's throwing that tornado, that looked fucking cool. Okay. But with the scene prior, with him like looking up and like that looked weird. Like why do some scenes look more polished than others?
I'm assuming that's all because of the turbulence of having to change things up a bunch of times. Even like that Batman scene when he's like jumping from that explosion, like that shit looks weird.
That's why some of it. That's like I feel like they're gonna try and brush past this with scenes like that. You know what I mean? Like if it's not a big action piece to where like everything needs to be CGI'd, it's gonna look fine. But those bigger ensembles are gonna suffer, looking like fake as shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's crazy. Now I just paused it in a random spot, so that's not really fair. But that just looks crazy.
Yeah, but I can acknowledge that some of the scenes still look wonky. The trailer still kind of. This one does it for me because it does show a little bit more of Sasha, which I'm excited for real. And then, but I don't know what it is, dude. Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, the last time we had this conversation, or we talked about The Flash, I was really just trying to consider what you were saying, and I wasn't coming to your side of being on the fence, but I was more just like, damn, like what if this movie isn't all that it's cracked up to be? You know what I mean? Like, what if it is all manufactured, hype. You
like
know what I mean?
you're over here like thinking about it.
Yeah, because like I don't like I've said it before, but I don't know what I'd do if this movie isn't good. You know what I mean? Like, what if it's not everything I'm expecting?
Then you will be devastated once again. And as a DC fan, it shouldn't come as a surprise anymore. And that's just my thing. I'm not trying to shit on the movie. Like I said, I hope it does good. I hope I go into that theater and it like completely changes my mind. And this movie is cracked out what it what everybody made it out to be. But there's no, even with like this movie had so many years, okay, to get it together. This movie had so many years to have these, like, I will admit, some of the stuff looks really cool. But I'm just going to have to, like, in my head, I'm over here already settling, like, to understand I'm going to walk in there and all the action scenes that I think are cool are still going to look like cartoons.
They're starting to look bad, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where, like, I don't know if that's why they're putting a lot of action pieces into these trailers to kind of, like, get your mind ready and understand, like, this is what you're going to see on screen. But there was even a scene right here where, like, he jumps out of the thing and he rolls, and that shit looks fake as fuck, too. Like, it looked weird. I don't know if you seen that part. And it was just, like, a simple, like, a little simple, like him rolling on the concrete type scene. This is the Batman scene? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not even fair. Like, they just... I'd sue. 100% I'd sue. Where's that scene where, like, he kind of like, oh, right here.
Oh, where he, like, falls off the skateboard? His suit. It's his suit. I think. It's weird how, I think it's just because of his fucking suit.
You think it's the suit that is having, like, it looks like they faked it all. Like, it's just, even the shadow doesn't even look real. Like, the lighting is just weird. And I know this because I watched that the Corridor Crew. Shout out to them. They helped me, like,
that suit's gonna look so much better in the dark. If that makes any sense, because they don't have to worry about shadowing or anything like that. And like, I imagine that's what the suit is like you know how Zack Snyder's Ezra Miller's suit looks. There's not light to shine on it because it's a darker material, and I mean, there's not really sun when we see him. But I'd imagine, well, I guess Justice League would be the best example because he does run in the sunlight, so like it reflects, but it's not shiny like that.
Because with his old armor, it was more like, it wasn't polished like this, and it wasn't smooth. If that makes sense, it was more.
It was his prototype shit, basically.
Exactly. So, like I said, I get it. No, I don't get it. I don't get why this movie looks like shit in the trailers. That's the only thing. Like I said, the story sounds like it might be good. Everything sounds like everything else might be all right. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about Keaton because, to be honest, Michael Keaton had kind of, he even kind of like, I mean, he did a good performance in Homecoming. Actually, I'm not even gonna like say that, but there's
his wheelchair is cool.
There is times where like he's just on screen and he says it too, like, oh, I'm just here for a check. I think when they canceled Batgirl, he was just like, oh, what? Okay, and like he just forgot about it. Like he just does this shit because he doesn't care and he's just getting a check. You know? So that's another thing that kind of worries me about seeing him. Sasha, I 100% believe that she's going to give it her all in this movie. I just think that they're going to do her dirty with the CGI. Kind of like that frame that I showed you where her head kind of floating in a way. And it was like... Yeah. That's kind of uncalled for, Like, she actually cares about the character. When she first got, like, hired on, like, she made a big deal about it. And that's just my thing. I just don't want, to lose something... because it sounds like we're going to get a gold gem with her. You know what I mean? Ezra, his acting might really carry this movie. Yeah. And, the CGI and stuff is obviously not doing him justice, which kind of sucks too. But it's, this movie has so much writing for them actor-wise. Like it would be a shame that the CGI and the VFX is the reason why this movie is its downfall.
That's what I'm hearing most about. Like the story is like great, and every actor does their thing. Again, I'm not sure about Keaton. They're not giving us much with him other than the fucking his one line, you know what I mean, and like the few action scenes, but like that's about it that we're getting out of him. We're not really getting anything else. We got more Batfleck footage than him, if that makes any sense, out of these trailers.
Yeah, this time at least. Yeah, because I still think that we see Keaton the most, and I believe that's obviously because he's probably in more of the movie. I think Batfleck's really only in the beginning of the movie.
Well, I don't know, because like the only scenes that they're really showing is, or the ones that I can recall, is it's the fucking obvious his one line, and then, well, I guess in the last one they did show him a little bit more. He had more dialogue, but that's like one new scene out of that one line, the Batwing scene, and the one where he's kneeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one when he's on top of in the bunker thing, and she comes out to save him. Him turning his back and getting shot, him flying out, him getting jumped by one of Zod's henchmen. Like we see a lot more Keaton. Everything that we see of Batfleck's the same thing. Him, that stupid goofy image of him jumping out of the blowing up building, him on the bike, him jumping off the jet plane. I think this one was the first time we got new dialogue where it's like, Barry, we need you, or I need you now, or something, come now, and that was about it. And then we see him leave, which I'm assuming that's the last time we're going to see him in the movie, so I don't even know why they showed you that to begin. You know what I mean? So
maybe, I don't know. Not till we see it, but I don't know. I understand what you're saying, and like I got my own mixed feelings about it, but I want this movie to be
now I feel
my
bad.
bread and butter.
No, I feel bad because you were like super hyped, and now I feel like I'm the Debbie Downer.
Well, like no, because it's just me. Like you know, I don't want this movie to like hurt my feelings. You know what I mean?
So you're protecting yourself.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's what I'm doing too, because I love DC. I fucking love it, and it just sucks that I haven't been getting what I love. It fucking sucks because I like for the longest. I thought I was finally getting some good ass DC content that, you know, I was enjoying. I was sitting there with my popcorn. I was good. And then they tweaked it and they fucked it up. And now look where we're at. Fuck it. I would even have said Black Adam was good if it was actually good. But because it wasn't, it's not. Like, I want DC to succeed so bad, but shit like this doesn't help DC succeed.
Yeah, no. What do you call it? Like, and that's my thing, because I'm still excited for it. I'm still in it for the story, and, you know, Ezra's Flash and Sasha's Supergirl. Like, I imagine they're going to be really good performance-wise, but like you said, the CGI isn't doing it, and I want to see this movie go in happy, and I don't want to come out sad. You know what I mean? Or disappointed, because if this is really the goodbye to the Snyderverse and the old DCEU, you know what I mean, before starting with Gunn's slate, like, I don't want to leave with this being the bad impression. You know what I mean? Like that, like, give me a worthy ending. Mm-hmm. That's what I want.
Well, we'll see if that's what they're giving right now, because we are going to go over some of the reviews that came out during the screening, and a lot of people are saying the reactions are strong. Let's see. We got a few of them saying DC's The Flash is tremendous. Forget DC. It is without a doubt among the best superhero films ever made. An all-timer. Innovative storytelling, fantastic action sequences, great cast, so many nerdy details. I'm in tears at the end. Everything you want from a superhero franchise and more. See, and this is the problem. This is the problem with these reviews, because a lot of, like, you'll hear a lot of the same words in different watch. Listen to this one. This one says, "Damn, The Flash is good. It's super inventive, both visually and in concept. The dynamic of two Barry Allens is crazy well done. Emotions hit me intensely hard. Solid surprises, and it got me wanting to watch again and really eager to see how they follow it. Well done." Somebody else says The Flash is awesome. One of the best DC movies. A perfect blend of action, heart, and humor. So many wow and chill-inducing moments that longtime DC fans will love. Ezra Miller is superb. And Michael Keaton's still got it. And we got a couple mixed reactions. We got right here. So, you know Jeff Snyder. We've talked about him before. And I personally trust his judgment. I kind of feel like he's more truthful and he doesn't really pander to anybody. So this is what he says about The Flash. He says, the first hour is pretty fantastic, strikes the perfect tone. Ezra's great, heroic, funny, emotional. The last hour is mostly terrible. Just an utter mess that'll leave you asking what the hell's going on. Fan service and a DC villain problem strike again. Mixed bag overall. Somebody else says, The Flash is not one of the greatest superhero movies ever. Parts are funny and fun, but I was completely exhausted by the second hour. It took me at least 5 minutes to recognize Michael Keaton, though, so do with that what you will.
What? What does that mean?
It took me at least 5 minutes to recognize Michael Keaton, though, so do with that what you will.
Recognize him?
Maybe he wasn't acting the way that he was supposed to. Maybe it wasn't the Batman that people remember, or at least she remembers. I don't know.
Oh shit! Not to sound fucked up, but if that's an old people thing, you know what I mean. If you're expecting the old Batman, you know, I'm sure you'll get that. But he's aged and he's matured. He's a seasoned Batman. He's not gonna be the same one from the old ass movie.
But that's what he's supposed to be. If they're bringing him back, he's supposed to be that, but just old man.
Well, yeah, but like he's gone through shit too. You know what I mean? I think in well, I don't know if it's true or canon, but in the crossover for the CW show, when they mention him, he's married to the Catwoman. So, you know, who really knows? You know,
yeah,
it's up in the air until we see it.
There's a lot of mumbo jumbo, but we did talk about, too, you know, him coming back to Beetlejuice and everything, and I was telling you, like, we're going to have to wait and see how he does with this one, you know, coming back to a role that he used to do. Mm-hmm. How will he do when brought back to it?
Yeah.
And like I said before, another reviewer said before that he's just there to basically say catchphrases, and like I said, I don't know. The reviews aren't 100%. I will say, in the defense of The Flash, like I said before, that this is not a full showing. Nobody has actually seen the full film from beginning to end because apparently there's pieces missing and the post-credit scenes aren't even there. So you don't know what they're setting up. Maybe there's some context that's not there within the movies. But, another side of me says, oh, this might be all a ploy. They're saying not everything's there, so they can still be able to be like, well, you know, there's going to be a little bit more. You know what I mean? There's going to be a little bit more. So you can get mixed reviews, but understand those reviews, those bad ones, don't make sense right now because you guys haven't seen the full film. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but man, just the idea of a movie not being shown fully to fans who are going ahead of time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. I think they're probably just tiptoeing, you know, seeing how reactions are early before they go back and tweak it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before sending it out and coming together for the release date. It's crazy shit.
Yeah. It is unfinished, so we're gonna have to wait to, you know, obviously get our eyes on this, you know, movie, be able to judge for ourselves. Maybe when the premiere happens and, you know, those actual reviews start spewing out, that's when we're gonna, you know, actually hear something. Now, you know, on Twitter, obviously we have half and half fans, right? People, real DC fans, Snyderverse people. You know, apparently a lot of people went to go watch it. I won't lie. Snyderverse people are saying that it's not that good of a movie, whereas some are saying that, you know, it's because, you know, it's not Snyderverse, whatever. But Andy Muschietti said that it was connected to the larger DCEU, which is, you know, quote unquote the Snyderverse. I'm assuming that that's what he meant, that it is just this movie takes place within the DCEU, and it's supposed to lead to a road at the very end that's going to lead to James Gunn's.
That's not the DCEU. You know what I mean? That's no. I mean, like, that's why I was trying to finish your statement. Like, it starts there, but it clearly shifts train tracks and goes somewhere else.
Exactly. So they're gonna. It's at the end of this everything.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is supposed to spit out into James Gunn's new DCU. So, you know, I'm assuming, and this is just going to be my prediction, I'm assuming that the movie's going to be good. Like I said, maybe you just got to get past the CGI and stuff. I mean, I guess you can say it's better than the CWs.
People can get past the CGI most of the time. It's a problem if every like you know how people will be like, oh man, this scene in this movie was so fucking cool. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to do that with The Flash a few months down the line, you know, and when it's on DVD or whatever, or streaming, whenever the fuck, and then it's just not finished CGI. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be like, oh man, look at this scene of the Flash running, like this was my favorite moment, and then it's Ezra in his rubbery ass suit, and then like just not looking good. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, the last time we seen him look good was during that Speed Force scene. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait to see what happens with the Flash. This is gonna be an interesting case. DC, I don't know, man. This is either general audiences are gonna really love this, or you know, maybe general audiences really will love this because, you know, it's the first Flash movie, and people are gonna just be happy to see that he's on the big screen. And then you're gonna have the other half, which is like, you know, people that love DC, stuff like that, comics and whatever, that are really gonna either. I feel like that fan base is gonna be split into two as well, because you're gonna have the ones that really hate this movie because it's, you know, whatever, and then people that really love it for which reason, you know. So it's gonna be split up into three groups for sure.
So it's always been split, and then I don't know how will this movie fare amongst them. Who knows? It makes me sad thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, we don't want you to cry on here, so we'll have to wait and see what the Flash movie. We will get tickets. We will watch that for sure. Something that's on our to-do list. But something that's off my to-do list now is going to the damn Galactic Star Cruiser that Disney had. So, for those that don't know, Disney had a hotel, a glorious hotel, for Star Wars fans to go ahead and immerse themselves within the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah.
I believe that's where they showed their first lightsaber,
Mm-hmm.
the one that actually pulls out and then she drops it on the floor and, you know, picks up a stick to fight, whatever. But for those that know about it, know that this one came with a steep price point.
Why would you?
I'm just saying.
Why would you hurt their ears like this?
I'm just saying, bro. Like, it's very steep.
Don't do it again. Stop.
Sorry. So steep that for 3 nights, you're basically paying $5,000. $5,000 for a weekend. Now you could take 4 people, split it. Still a lot of money, regardless. And now Disney is going to be shutting it down completely. Why? We all know why. Nobody's going to it. Now, somebody like me, I would if I had that kind of cheddar on me. I'm not in a position to drop 5, bands on a 3-day hotel, trip to Star Wars, unfortunately. If I was, probably do it.
Exactly.
But, not a lot of people are in that position. Not a lot of people can do that. To have a crazy price point like that, I already knew, and I always said, like, one day I'm going to, go, but I should have known better. This shit wasn't going to last. Not at the price point that they had it at.
They should have known better. Disney is... I hope they take a look, and then when they decide somewhere down the line to retry this, that they do look at the fucking price points and be like, $5,000 is fucking steep. I understand you're getting the 3 days, but no, that just doesn't sound worth it, if that makes any sense.
If it's $5,000, I assume everything's free there.
I don't know.
I better be able to do whatever the fuck I want.
I don't know.
$5,000. I better be able to fucking drink Star Wars alcohol. There better be Star Wars alcohol there.
I want that blue milk.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Like, I feel like if you were to go and it was that kind of price point, you better fucking get the room and the experience and whatnot, and then after that, a lightsaber and a droid should be fucking free, because there's no fucking way. You know what I mean? Disney is just money gouging at that point. Like,
I want Leia Organa in my room.
Like, there's no way to be charging me $5,000 and then I still got to go out to your fucking park and then pay another $300 for whatever droid or lightsaber I want.
For a churro.
Well, yeah, whatever the fuck. But yeah, it sucks to hear that this is closing. I'm sure it had hella employees dedicated to Star Wars. You know what I mean? But they should have known that this shit was not gonna last. Who the fuck has this kind of money this day and age? Like, you know what I mean? Unless you're out there, but I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah, no, I know motherfuckers got cheddar, but motherfuckers don't got cheddar to be spending like that. It's too much. I mean, it's great. It's a great place, but it's just too much, especially for like the scale that they had it at. You know what I mean? Like, you guys had a whole hotel where, you know, if you would have easily made it a little bit cheaper, made it, you know, more affordable to immerse yourself within this hotel, you know what I mean? You would have had way more customers, you know what I mean? Yeah. People would go to Disneyland and just stay in your hotel if it was like, why does it got to be $5,000? You could have easily made it like $200 a night or whatever, right? Because, you know, you're paying for extra stuff, whatever. Yeah. Make it like $200 a night, and then just have them pay for, you know, food, drinks, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And if they have that kind of money, they're still spending less than $5,000.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's ridiculous. And they can try to dress it up in different ways. I know that they're trying to blame Disney right now. Bob Iger is trying to blame it on a few things that I'm really not informed on, so I can't really speak on it, and I don't want to, you know, obviously spread misinformation. But he is coming out trying to blame it on other things. But at the end of the day, bottom line, what it looks like is people don't have that cheddar, okay? And this Galactic Cruiser, only 100 rooms. $5,000. What if they book out that whole place? Hold on one second. I know this is simple math, and somebody probably already did it in their head, but I'm gonna fucking pull out my calculator. $5,000, okay, times that by 100 rooms. That's $500,000. That's $500,000. Are you fucking kidding me, Disney? Are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me you could? No, they deserve to shut this place down. I'll shut it down myself.
Just go over there. Yep, time to close up. Fucking.
I'm just gonna walk in there. I'm just gonna look around and be like, it just makes me want to burn this motherfucker down. It is what it is,
man.
It sucks that we'll never be able to go.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll revamp it and then change prices later down the line.
Probably, make it a little bit more affordable.
Yeah,
they're just probably like, ooh,
they're probably just like, we got to shut down and take it back to the drawing board, because like, it's not. I'm really sure it's not that Star Wars fans and whatnot, you know, don't want to do it. It's just, it's fucking expensive. That's it. Make it affordable to the common Star Wars fan, and I'm sure you'll bring in the dough. You know what I mean? But Disney just likes to fucking money gouge at that point.
Yeah, they're just trying to get as much dollars as they can, as much as they can squeeze out. But something that you know, did happen over the weekend, and you know, it's all because of the new Fast X movie, okay? And speaking of think as much as you can squeeze out, Fast X has been on this long journey. Yeah. Like I told you before, it's been around since 2001, the first Fast and the Furious. Now, a video resurfaced of Michelle Rodriguez at Comic-Con, and I believe this was around the time where Fast 7 or 8 had came out.
Yeah.
She was doing an interview, you know, and she basically goes on a rant and says, you know, that Marvel movies are just unoriginal, whatever. And when are they going to stop? How many movies can they make, right? And everybody I seen it all over TikTok. Everybody was dragging her.
Yeah.
I just wanted, I'm not doing this to drag her. I actually want to defend, but I just want you to hear the clip first in case you haven't heard it in a while. And, you know, we'll get your thoughts.
I mean, and where can you go? How many Marvel movies can you make?
I know.
Like, come on, guys. At some point, we got to get innovative with this.
Okay.
That's funny. I'm gonna defend her because I think I have seen this coming around, and everyone's had the same plot points. You know, oh, you have 10 Fast and Furious movies. You went from street racing to this, and I'm like, well,
Dom's basically a superhero now.
Yeah, like all the plot points have been done. You know what I mean? Like it's not original to point out that there's 10 of these movies and they're obviously not where they started. You know what I mean? Like, so in her defense, she's kind of right. The Marvel movies have had a stale formula. You know what I mean? And as we've seen from Phase 4, it wasn't the best. And then we're still in the stump of barely making it out. Guardians is barely scraping it by the fucking, you know what I mean, by their fucking fingernails. We don't know how the Marvels is gonna do, so she has a point. You know, how many can they make before they decide to crap out and just move out of the casino? That's my point, because again, it's easier to jab at her. I find it harder to defend.
Yeah, and I mean, though at the time, obviously when this was recorded, that she wasn't at Fast X. You know, one thing is if she said it when they were at 10 movies, but you got to think, Marvel has 32 properties, right? Fast and Furious has 10 movies and a spinoff, whatever. Marvel movies, what I could say about Fast movies is that they take risks, right? Marvel doesn't do that.
Yeah, no.
Marvel doesn't do that.
Mm-mm.
Fast and the Furious, you can hate one movie, but one can really be your favorite. Okay? And like, you could, and not really hate, I don't think anybody hates any of the Fast and Furious movies. I would, at least for myself, there's some that I don't like as much as others.
Exactly.
But I don't think I can actually sit there and be like, I fucking hate Fast and the Furious. I fucking hate this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't see myself doing that. At least with Fast and the Furious, like, you're still entertained.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in a Marvel movie, if it doesn't get your attention and you don't like it, you're no longer entertained. In my opinion, I don't feel entertained by a boring movie that Marvel puts out because it just feels forced and weird. You know what I mean? But in my defense, they're nowhere near Marvel numbers when it comes to movies. They're getting there. They're getting there. They're on their ass. I tell you. But I was thinking like Star Wars probably has, you know, more movies within the saga, but no, they cut that shit off. Now Fast and the Furious is right there, so. But she has a point, but at the same time, you know, don't be saying things like that, because it is true that it's not where it started from, but they had to, you know, reinvent themselves to keep up with today's standards.
At least with the Fast franchise, they are being kind of innovative with each one. You know what I mean? It may be ridiculous, but innovative nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least with in the first, depending on how you look at it, the first phases of Marvel, each movie was just a carbon copy of itself.
Yeah.
Same fucking formula here, there, whatever. Not really innovative, because like you said, they don't take risks. At least with the Fast franchise, they take risks. They get innovative with their action pieces and whatever else.
Yeah, even though it's
whatever.
Dumb and breaks the laws of nature, it's fine. It's entertainment.
Exactly.
So what if Dom sure doesn't get dirty?
Someone's gonna look at an MCU movie and be like, oh, they didn't explain how Ant-Man's suit is like nanotech, yada yada, and then someone's gonna see Dom fly a fucking car, whip it around, and you know, into a fucking plane, and people are still gonna be like, that was fucking sick. I don't even know how that makes sense, but that was cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make much sense, because at least with the Fast franchise, they've been fresh and innovative, and you know, in my experience, they keep me coming back. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you notice, Fast and the Furious went through some changes, obviously, between certain things, but we will be getting into deeper talk with Fast and the Furious in a different episode, so keep out for that, guys. But yeah, leave Michelle Rodriguez alone.
Exactly. You guys are corny for pointing out the same damn things. I've seen like 7 different posts with the same. Oh, you made all the same. Like, dog, you're corny. Shut up.
Dom has superpowers. Yes, we understand. We understand.
Know. It doesn't make you a goddamn genius to point that out.
Yeah, like we've seen the movies, but it's entertainment. Like, honestly, yeah. But moving on though, CW also hitting the axe on a few things. Now, the live action Powerpuff Girls project was something that was down the pipeline for a while, and it. They shot episodes. But then they fired one of the cast members, so they had to reshoot the episodes. The pilot wasn't doing good, so they completely scrapped it and had to do a new pilot, I believe. And ever since then, it's been quiet and dark with the Powerpuff Girls CW live action thing that was supposed to happen. And now we got confirmation that it's been completely cut off, which, honestly, it was kind of like, a puppy that was trying to walk and then it got ran over, but it didn't die. And they were just like, no, we could fix you. And the puppy's just like,
just make a Frankenstein out of this bitch.
Yeah, like so maybe it's a good thing that it never came to be. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But a lot of other things that are happening too. We've talked about this before. DC content is getting thrown out the window. A lot of people were still hoping, and it was still up in the air for some certain things. So Justice U is also gonna be forgotten of because it's been confirmed that The Flash, which the season finale premieres tonight, will be the last of the Arrowverse.
Mm-hmm.
No more Arrowverse. No more CW projects with DC. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Yay, nay, sucks. Happy.
Well, I mean, I didn't really care for the Powerpuff Girls live action thing. I totally forgot it was a thing. You know what I mean? I think a word came out about this when they said Gotham Knights was coming out, and then all that shit happened, and I just didn't hear a word from it. So if they decided to put it down for sure, then it is what it is. I would have been terrified to see what Mojo Jojo looks like in live action.
I am Mojo Jojo.
And then as for the DC one, what is it called?
Justice U.
Yeah, Justice U. That shit sounded dumb from the jump. It did. Like, the concept was, well, you don't really care for the CW show, so there's this character, John Diggle, what do you call it? He was going to be the CW's Green Lantern. They were going to give him a show that didn't pan out.
Was that the dude? I think I seen a clip on Twitter where like they kind of briefly show the green light or something and everything.
He was going to be the Green Lantern.
It was supposed to be like hinting at it or something.
He was going to get it, and then I'm pretty sure he was going to be wearing it in this spinoff, and then that didn't pan out. So we see him in he shows up in a few other episodes after the Arrow ends, and they hint that he wears it and stuff, but they don't really show him. I don't know why you can't just paint him green for a second, and then I guess he was gonna train the quote unquote next generation of superheroes or whatever the fuck, vigilantes. I wanted to know what that roster was gonna look like, but that was the premise, and I was like, that sounds fucking ridiculous. He was Oliver's sidekick for like a majority of the first couple seasons of Arrow. What does he know about saving anybody?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then, so I'm fine that was canceled. I thought that shit was dumb. Like, I don't think he ever deserved his own show. And if he did, at least splurge a little bit and give me that Green Lantern shit that you hinted at the end of Arrow that ended way before its time. You know what I mean? And then everything else is history because I don't really know anything about that. But that Justice U one, I got beef. That shit was dumb.
Oh, well. With that one, I'm not sure. I think we're opposite. So with the Powerpuff Girl one, I was actually excited for it because of all the development hell that was happening.
You wanted to see the final product?
I just wanted to see what was gonna get, what it was gonna turn out to be, because I seen when they were shooting a certain scene or whatever, and they had the original person, and then they wound up, like I said, I think it was Bubbles that got replaced, the girl that's playing Bubbles.
Yeah,
and then they wound up changing her, and they got captured redoing the scene again. The same way or whatever, with that girl for the pilot. I think it was the pilot episode that they were redoing again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, this is so stupid. I just want to see what happens. You know what I mean? I know that Gotham Knights one that happened and everybody was calling it dumb. I was going to check it out just to see, what's it's about or whatever. But then after I heard that Batman got shot in the back,
he got shot.
I was just like, there's no point in even checking this out. The greatest detective is going out like that. That's crazy. This universe is already unbelievable. I cannot. But yeah, I was just mostly interested in the final product, so I was just worried about that one.
I didn't even know about that. That would have been funny as hell to check out.
Yeah. So, but it's gonna be locked in a vault forever now, so we'll never get to see it. But I'm ready for the next topic, and the next topic is your favorite director, James Gunn. So here we are at this time, at this juncture. Okay. So, earlier, I've been working all day, so I had to ask my co-host here to pull up some articles.
Yeah.
A few of them, didn't pan out. There wasn't a lot of credible sources. Some people were saying Mr. Terrific was going to be in the Superman Legacy. Some people were saying that we're going to see a lot of established DC characters within the DC, James Gunn's DCU in Superman Legacy. A lot of characters being thrown around. We got the repeat offenders spewing random rumors. And I'm a victim of it too, because I screenshot, I write it down or whatever, and I look into it, but nothing pans out, and I'm like, all right, some dude in his basement made this up. You know what I mean? And it's fine, and I get it. Yeah. People ain't got nothing better to do. It's okay, but somebody else who doesn't have anything better to do is James Gunn as well. And that's because he is virtue signaling, okay, with, I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do, and, leave me be because I have things to, if something's coming out and I don't say it, don't believe it type shit, and it's just gaslighting people, stuff like that, and it's ridiculous in my opinion. So here's what he had to say. He says, I'm getting barraged with bullshit DC rumors this morning. I'll just reiterate the general rule not to believe anything unless it comes from me or Peter, but unless it's especially egregious, I'm going to slow down on calling shit out. Sorry, I know it's one of my favorite traditions. There are 3 reasons for this. 1, some people are making up lies to get attention from me or to get clicks. I don't want to encourage that. 2, I've read hundreds of rumors this morning. One of them is half true, so I don't want to be used as a way for people to throw nonsense at the wall until something sticks. 3, I'm storyboarding Superman Legacy and don't have time. Have a great day, with another picture of a merman at the very bottom. So, a few things come out of this tweet. 1, nobody told you to be on this internet shit to begin with. Nobody told you that you had to debunk anybody, and if you're being used for clicks, well, that's your own dumbass fault because you allowed yourself to do that. Okay? People made shit up and you fell for it. That's your fucking fault.
If you fall for the bait, that's on you. You can't get mad at the fish for pulling on the line. You know what I mean? You dangling food in front of them, that motherfucker gonna bite. You know what I mean? That's simple. That's how internet trolls work and everything. They want your reaction so they can be like, "Oh, James Gunn said this in retaliation." You know what I mean? And at that point, it's about how you react. You know what I mean? Like saying it how this is all aggressive. Of course, that's gonna get the tabloids and all that saying like, "Oh, James Gunn says this is bullshit." You know what I mean? Whatever else. Mm-hmm. So it's totally his fault. No one controls his app but him. He doesn't. It's not like everyone else where like you would imagine they have a publicist or something saying, "Hey, don't say this." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure he controls that shit 100%.
Yeah. And then he goes ahead and says, okay, that rumors or whatever, right? And he says in his second point, one of them is half true, so I don't want to be used as a way for people to throw nonsense at the wall until something sticks. My man, you literally confirm or deny on Twitter everything. What is he talking about? He literally confirms or denies. They'll be like, Are we gonna see Lois Lane in Superman Legacy? Yeah, you will. Are we gonna see this or whatever? So if it's little vague stuff, he's okay with it. But when people are actually trying to like get some details or whatever, obviously he's gonna lock down, right? Obviously he's not gonna give all these details. But if you're preaching yourself to be an open book on Twitter, people are gonna be expecting certain things out of you, and if you're gonna just be like, no, toying with them or whatever, people are gonna get sick of that shit. And people are gonna do what he said in the first one: clickbait you, do all this stuff. Why? So they can get a reaction, so they can get the attention. So once again, back to my first point: if you didn't respond in the first place, none of this shit would be happening. It's fucking ridiculous.
Exactly. There's hella people tagging him and stuff, and he replies to almost all of that shit. I see immediately. You know what I mean? He's replied to some of my people on Twitter, like he makes it a habit to reply, and I'm sure that's just so he can keep in touch with the fans and, you know, Q&A lightly or whatever. But if you got people who are kind of close to figuring out what's in the box, you can't get mad at that when you're basically handing them the keys. You know what I mean? To that shit.
You're answering their questions.
Exactly.
If you just stayed off Twitter, they'd just be throwing stuff at the wall, but ain't shit gonna stick.
Exactly. You know how many times people tag famous people, you know what I mean, and they don't get a response? You know what I mean? Like I feel like I see more of James Gunn responding to fans than someone else would. Like, whether it be like a singer, artist, whatever the fuck, you know, I feel like I see more of his replies to fans, which is fine. But again, there's those people who are going to take that and be like, I'm going to fuck with this dude heavy just so I can get clickbait for my next video or whatever the fuck else. And then he falls for it.
Hook, line, and sinker. And then the third part, okay, and this is kind of like a two-parter because he puts this in the comments. So he says, I'm storyboarding for Superman Legacy and don't have time. Have a great day. My man, when you were dealing with Guardians of the Galaxy and being the head of DC Studios and doing Superman Legacy, you were still on Twitter 24/7. I don't know where you find the time to do this, but believe me.
It's clearly not stopping.
Yeah, you clearly have time. So he says he's storyboarding, right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of where I'm just like, because there's a writer's strike going on.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So down in the comments, somebody says, you're storyboarding based on the first draft ? He says it's far from the first draft. So is he doing rewrites and fixing things up? And is this kind of like a confirmation that he's actually, you know, doing things he's not supposed to be doing?
Maybe. Unless that draft he sent in that we saw on Superman Day or whatever is the final one. But even then, he'd still have to. I mean, if you're storyboarding, things aren't going to make it. That's what the chopping room floor is for.
You're going to be storyboarding. You're going to be seeing what works, what fits.
Yeah.
Putting lines.
You'd be rewriting it. I mean, yeah, basically, that's what it sounds like. He's doing work behind the scenes to get it done, and no one seems to be shining a light his way, so he's just going to keep working.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. That to me seems like it's something there, in itself. So either which way, it didn't stop him. Okay, because this tweet was May 20th. And the 23rd. On the time of recording this, we're on the 23rd, and he decided to respond to this fan. And so somebody had asked him on Twitter saying, what is the best movie of 2023? Yeah. And he tweeted back, The Flash. Some other tweeter said, I've watched Man of Steel in the DCU. If the hype is real, what would we say are recommended viewing before you watch The Flash? James Gunn replied saying, you don't need to see anything as long as you know that Keaton Batman exists. Some other Twitter user jumped in and said, you're the head of DC Studios and can't even figure out that technically both BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League are prequels to The Flash, since those versions of Batfleck, Wonder Woman, and Barry Allen were characters from the Snyderverse. It's actually embarrassing that they hired you to run this franchise. Kind of harsh towards the end. Kind of harsh. James Gunn replies, That wasn't the question nor my answer. You don't have to see those films to enjoy The Flash. So I give the same answer as I did repeatedly for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's good to know a couple of things before going in, but you don't have to see anything before seeing it. It makes sense by itself.
How? How would that work?
That happened today.
You're telling okay. Just to play the game. we're gonna break down everything that you kind of see in the Flash trailer that has happened in the past DCU films. Ready? The World Engine. Where's that from?
MOS.
Man of Steel, right? Ben Affleck's Batman. Where's that from? BVS. That Wonder Woman is from Wonder Woman and BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then Ezra Miller's Flash. You're telling me you're not gonna see it? You're not gonna want to know where he was before he showed up in his own movie? Zack Snyder's Justice League or BVS, if you want to really throw it back to where we first get a hint of him.
And if you want a little Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Oh yeah, that's right. He was there. That was probably like my favorite cameo. But like, and then Zod. Wait, have you seen Zod? Why is Superman a girl? Oh, you know Zod from Man of Steel and Supergirl. So that doesn't make much sense. You kind of have to watch those movies to get to where we are as the Flash. At least, maybe you don't have to see Aquaman because he's not in it.
Aquaman.
Maybe you don't have to see the Birds of Prey movies or James Gunn's own Suicide Squad to see the Flash. I wouldn't watch it anyway. You don't have to watch Suicide Squad 2016, but you would have to see all of Zack Snyder's movies in the DCEU first.
You have a point. I'm not saying that you don't. I can agree with you, and you're thinking of this as a fan and about films and stuff like that. Now let me take you through a process of like business in my head. Okay. You're the head of DC Studios.
Yes.
You're running DC now. Mm-hmm. You want DC to make money?
Yeah.
Tell people to go watch the fucking movies, guy. What the fuck is your problem? If I was Zaslav, if I would have seen that tweet, I would have looked at it. I would have called up James Gunn. I would have been like, why the fuck didn't you tell people that, you got to go watch MOS? Why didn't you tell people that you got to watch BVS? Why didn't you say go watch Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have told them that? It's fucking ridiculous. If more streams for your service, people are going to be like, oh, I have to watch these movies in order to like them. Mm-hmm. What, are we afraid that people are going to actually enjoy these movies, Man of Steel, BVS, whatever, more than the shit that you're going to put out later? Or do you think it's going to confuse them? You think it's going to confuse them if you tell them to go watch this and at the end of the movie you're basically going to be like, they have nothing to do with this?
Yeah.
They're putting themselves in a wall, against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all because of the fact that James Gunn took over leadership, and not just because of the fact that he did that. It's the actions that he took. One was revealing that this slate is going nowhere. Okay, yeah. Already fucking hurt the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why the fuck would you tell people that way before we even put out these movies?
Mm-hmm.
So stupid. People would have probably went to go watch these movies. You know what I mean? They would have probably made a little bit more money. I mean, I still think word of mouth would have said these movies are bad, but at the same time,
there's no shaving Shazam.
yeah, it is what it is. Two, if you cared about these movies, if you cared about the vision that was there before yours, you know what they say? You're supposed to respect the past, or you're supposed to build for the future while also respecting the past. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to take big leaps, but don't forget where you came from.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, those movies in the beginning of the DCU were the past, and you got to have people embrace that, and then go ahead and move forward.
Yeah. Say
goodbye peacefully, and then move forward. It just seems like you're sweeping everything out of under the rug, and from a business point of view, really says that you're not selling these movies, and you should be.
Yeah. Yep. As both ends of the stick kind of just stabbing toward them. That's such a weird thing to say to people. Like, oh, you don't really have to know the other movies. You just have to know that Michael Keaton is Batman. Who the fuck Who the fuck would know that? Unless you're like a real DC fan and maybe you're young and you know those movies because someone showed you them. But no one younger than like our parents would know who the fuck Keaton is.
I know who Keaton is. I mean, that's besides the
general audience.
But if we want to go there, if we want to say that, so you're telling me that you just need to know that Keaton exists, or Keaton's Batman exists. Well, who's Keaton's Batman? So you're telling them they gotta go watch Batman, Tim Burton's Batman, but you're not telling them they gotta go watch BVS. You're indirectly saying that you need to go watch it, because if you don't know who Keaton's Batman is, then you're not gonna be prepared for this movie.
Exactly. So there's a bunch of movies technically that you have to watch. This isn't like No Way Home being like, oh, you have to watch the Tobey Maguire movies and the Andrew Garfield movies to know what happens in No Way Home. That's not this. This is him cutting out the past so he can be like, hey, this movie can stand on its own, when really you have half the Justice League in that bitch, a Michael Keaton Batman from the fucking 90s, and whatever the fuck else.
They have one Justice League member, and that's the Flash.
No, Batman and Wonder Woman.
Batman. Well, Wonder Woman's in there for a cameo, right?
Well, no, dog. I'm telling you, they wouldn't give her a Funko Pop if she wasn't in there for longer than a cameo. But you know what I mean? That would be like think about it, because I've heard rumors that Superman might be in it. You know what I mean? But he's not gonna get a Funko Pop for a cameo. She has to have a longer scene. You know what I mean? So maybe what we talked about with Ben Affleck saying that they cut her scene is completely wrong, because she has to be in it for longer than that for them to literally promote her in the merchandise.
Yeah, that's something different. But yeah, James Gunn
fucking up on all cylinders still.
I'm just saying he's really setting himself up for and this, like I said, I don't pray for anybody's downfall. I'm not praying for his downfall, but what I'm saying is that if it does happen, it's gonna fucking hurt. And it's gonna fucking hurt because of shit that he's doing like this. When shit hits the fan and he fucking falls, and they're like, and he's like, oh, what the fuck happened? Everybody's gonna be berating him. Boom, look at these tweets that you said. Look at all this shit. Oh, whatever. Storyboarding, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna stop talking. Clickbaits, whatever. All of that shit, all these tweets, everything. It's gonna bite him right in the ass. And he should have known. He should have learned this from the first time that this happened. They literally dig through your past and you got fired from Marvel. Yeah, you got something good out of it, whatever, but you're still gonna be playing that game. Tweets literally were your downfall last time. And look what the fuck he's doing again.
Exactly. So, I mean, everybody be ready, because I'm sure it'll come soon enough. And it won't be long till we see this user has deleted their account or something like that, because I can see it happening.
Well, James Gunn is not the only one in hot water. Even his own boss, David Zaslav, is in hot water as well. So over the weekend, he wound up going to Boston University to speak at the graduation, and it's during a writer's strike as of right now, and he got booed and told to pay his writers by the whole stadium. And I got the clip right here, so
that's funny.
Go ahead and listen to it and watch it real quick. He's trying to say his speech too, by the way, which is crazy.
I have the honor to present David Zaslav for Boston University's honorary degree.
I now call upon Dr. David Zaslav to deliver the 150th commencement address of Boston University.
Wow. I couldn't be more excited to be here with all of you. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to figure out how to get along with everyone. And that includes difficult people. Some people...
Damn. Goddamn quiet.
Some people will be looking for a fight.
And they keep chanting, pay your riders. So.
They're right. Just pay your fucking writers, man. Stop doing this bullshit. Oh my goodness, I don't know what it is about these people, these money hungry motherfuckers. Just pay your people. End of discussion. I mean, is it wrong to boo somebody at a graduation ceremony? Maybe. That's not for me to decide. But clearly you got people passionate about their shit if they're booing you at a ceremony. You know what I mean? Getting you to stop mid-sentence just so that their chants play. You know what I mean? I'm sure they had that man shaking in his boots.
Well, yeah. I mean,
his timbers are shivered.
Yeah, it's a bad spot. It's a bad spot, and especially because, you know, he's probably not even there for that reason, and, you know, it's getting thrown in his face, which it makes sense. It makes sense. Obviously, it's a public thing. Everybody knows that you should be paying your writers. Everybody knows that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you know? So, inappropriate spot, but, I mean, yeah, you're right. I can't even... You said everything. It's just pay the people that you're supposed to pay.
Exactly.
It's fucking ridiculous that it's even gone this long. You know, people are out there without money or anything, you know, with picket signs and the heat. It's summertime now. Like, you would think that they would have more respect and just be like, look, we'll reach a deal. Now, like I said, there is a rumor saying that everybody is in agreement except for Netflix. Netflix is the only one that's pulling out, but nothing really concrete has came out about that. I know that the Directors Guild and the Actors Guild pretty soon are going to be striking as well, because it's getting pretty hot. And if that's the case, even more movies and productions will be halted, and, you know, it's going to make things worse. And it's all because writers are being used. And, I mean, maybe they were getting paid, right? Maybe they were getting paid, but if you're doing something as well that's not right, like you guys are willing to try to use AI, ChatGPT, to replace these people too.
Exactly.
And that's one thing that they don't want to get replaced by. They don't want to get replaced by a robot. Nobody does.
Exactly.
Unless it's me. If I can get a robot and I can make them go to work for me, that'd be nice.
Jesus. Yeah, no. Just, I mean... I don't know what it is, because we can keep talking about this. We go in depth all the fucking time. Like, you got people out of school that you're supposed to be there to kind of uplift, you know, final words of wisdom before they get out of college and stuff. But you're getting booze, and you're getting pay your fucking people.
They're like, take your wisdom and shove it.
Basically. They did not give two fucks about what he had to say. And that's, like... I didn't know what his speech was, but say, like, where he was going with that whole people want to make problems for you. Like, dog, these people are clearly offended by, you know, your presence.
You're making problems for these writers.
Exactly. So, like, the borderline is that this shit needs to end and just pay your fucking people. Because eventually it's going to get hard for this motherfucker to step outside.
For everybody. All the CEOs of these companies, because... You would think that they would just walk in and just be like, look, we're going to come out, we're going to pay these people. We're going to all stick together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if we got to take a little pay cut. We're still making billions of dollars, you know what I mean? We're still getting our bonuses at the end of the year.
Yes.
Fuck it, like, let's just go. But, yeah, people are in hot water right now, and it's getting even hotter. But I'm about to get on Disney's neck and make it hot for them, because apparently they got to animate Alien versus Predator just sitting in their fucking shelf, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. I've heard about this. And I am upset about it, too. Because, holy shit, that would go so hard. But the fact that they just have it sitting there collecting dust, knowing that that's probably a fucking gold mine after Prey, they're fucking whack. Just for them to be like, man, I don't know if they need this. Put it away.
So apparently it was during a podcast, and he says there is sitting at Disney now at 20th Century Studios, 10 episodes of a fully completed Alien vs. Predator anime series that I produced. It's done. It's in the can. It's mixed. It's finished. It was produced. A story cracked by Eric Calderon and Dave Baker, two unbelievably crazy talented guys. Yeah, the rest is history. That apparently he pitched direct to DVD Alien vs Predator animated movie, and they just said, hey, we'll go ahead and make it into a series. He wound up doing an anime series, so everything's apparently good to go. 10 episodes.
Man, if they don't quit playing around,
you think it'll get to see the light of day one day?
Shit, I'd hope so. Hashtag release the Alien vs Predator anime. Fuck, like that'd be fucking cool. That sounds sick. That sounds fucking cool. Why would they? This is the thing about Disney. Like they like. Not all of their ideas are hitters, but when they have them, they're just like, nah, let's put that away. Maybe it's too good. Like, I don't know what the fuck they think about.
I'm thinking that this show might be too gory. It might be too, because if it's an anime, Alien vs Predator, they probably made it mature, and
those motherfuckers
Disney's
don't bleed.
like, this is too mature.
Those motherfuckers don't bleed.
What about other people?
What, man? Who gives a fuck about them?
There's gonna be people that are gonna bleed, I'm sure.
We'll get there when we get there.
What if it's as bad as like Invincible?
Well, that'd be fucking cool.
Well, like blood. Like imagine like an alien just popping some dude's head.
If Disney wants to mature and pull it forward, they can just be like, hey, this one's a little too adult for your children. Put back on Bluey or something like this. Like this isn't for kids. They can totally do that. They have Deadpool on Disney Plus now. Like there's no reason for them to be holding out. Maybe it's because anime isn't their Disney brand right now.
I just say dump all the episodes on Hulu and let people go crazy.
Exactly, like they did with that one Marvel show. Fucking damn, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Hit Monkey or something like that. That one's like an anime.
Yeah, I heard that one didn't even get a second season.
Well, I don't know.
It was
but
ass.
Well, I don't know. But I hear.
You never watched it?
No.
Did you watch that MODOK one?
No. Ew. No.
Oh.
Hell no. No. And then, but like they should totally do that because that'd be fucking cool. Like I need this show to see the light of day now. So again, hashtag release the Alien vs Predator anime.
Yep. And apparently we're gonna have to wait on that one. And just icing on the cake. Now on the past couple episodes, we did talk about a certain somebody, Kathleen Kennedy, right? I'm mad because yesterday I called you. You remember about an episode that we were supposed to air, and we were like talking all about it. And
yeah.
I heard it on YouTube. Somebody beat me to it.
Yeah.
But we just been. Kathleen Kennedy has just been on my radar as this not so good person, as of lately, and recently she went ahead and said that the upcoming Rey film will question: does the galaxy need Jedi anymore?
Yeah.
And do we want them back? Now,
an interesting question.
What do you get off that little quote?
I'm not too sure because weren't we promised that she was already going to be leading a new order already? Didn't they already say that?
What happened?
That wasn't Rey already going to be leading a new order by this time?
Yeah.
So I think that question's kind of out the window. No, like I think if they were gonna do that, they shouldn't have had her start her own school or whatever, unless they go in depth and just they're like in hiding or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're not known as, they're not at their height like they were with the High Republic or even before the war of the Clone Wars or whatnot. But the question is nice. I don't know how they're gonna explore it in this context though. Because I think that's something I feel like they should have done with Luke, But I think they tried it in the Last Jedi, but people weren't listening,
Yeah. Well, she says in this kind of long quote, and I'll break it down little by little. She says, "Well, as we moved into a future space, which the story is about 15 years outside of Rise of Skywalker, obviously we realized that post-war, post-First Order, Rise of the New Jedi Order, we left Episode IX with Rey making a commitment to Luke Skywalker that she would rebuild the Jedi Order, and so we are here and we are ready to do that. She said, and it took a lot of discussion because obviously we've been developing stories in different spaces, and television has been a big focus of our attention right now. But there's still so much interest in what happens after Rise of Skywalker, so we are excited to be doing that now. Real quick, not really. I don't care what happens after Rise of Skywalker. It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really that excited to see what Rey's up to. I'm really not. What about you?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
What a simp.
I don't give a Daisy Ridley. But no, yeah, no. I'm very excited to see where she's been. You know, like I really want to know where her story is going.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know if I can take you seriously.
What?
So later on, apparently later on in the podcast, she was asked, you know, about James Mangold's film as well, saying that the tale of the first Jedi to wield the Force and harness it was a liberating power in the era of chaos and oppression. We've been talking a lot about going well into the past, and one of the things that's really knitting this all together, obviously, are the Jedi. What happened with the Jedi over time? Much like history, how did the Jedi evolve? They were wiped out in Order 66, and they gradually have been coming back. The question that we're going to ask with the new Jedi Order and with Rey is, does the galaxy need them anymore? Do they want them back? There's a lot of food for thought in what we're doing, whether it's the past, present, or future. Now, I know she's talking about like galaxy within the galaxy, and I know that she's saying, you know, the people, like, they're going to be questioning whether or not they want Jedi within the galaxy or whatever. But when I hear that, and especially with everything that's been happening, what I hear is, do we still want to see Jedi? You know what I mean? And I get that because, you know, how we've been slowly moving away from it and everything. Like, we haven't seen any Jedi besides Obi-Wan Kenobi since the Rise of Skywalker. And that, to me, says in volumes to what she's doing here is that, like, well, at least for me, okay?
It doesn't take a giant leap to open yourself up to
the fuck out of me.
One small step.
Where the fuck?
Scared me. I lost my train of thought. But what I get from that is that she just doesn't want to put Jedi out there like that. And I know we're going to see them in her film, but it's like, if the movie doesn't do good, does that mean in her head, like, oh yeah, no, they don't want to see Jedi anymore? That's not who they want to see.
I really hope that's not what she's thinking. I think people always want to see Jedi. You know what I mean? I think the common fan would fucking lose their shit if they didn't see Jedi anymore. People riot when they don't see a lightsaber at all these days. People were mad as shit seeing Andor. The people that did see it, or I guess the fans, the hardcore fans that saw it, quote unquote, were really upset. They say they saw no lightsabers. Those fucking children. What do you call it?
But there was like gunfights and hella blasters.
That's not what they want to see. They want to see lightsaber go burr. like that's what their mentality. They're just like, they are not high civilized people. You know what I mean? Like, the reason they eat up Mando is because he's cool. You know what I mean? And like, his armor's dope, and sure, there's blaster fights and stuff. But like, once they introduced that Darksaber, it was a wrap, because now you see a lightsaber. Mm-hmm. People are kind of excited for Ahsoka, not just because, you know, of Ahsoka, but lightsabers again. And then Kenobi, obviously, it's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. Of course, you're gonna fucking, you know, like, yeah. And however you feel about it afterward, that's your own thing. But, you know, people were excited for that too. And then, like, I think people just had a big problem with Andor because there was no lightsabers in it, and it was quote unquote too sophisticated for you fucking children. I don't think she means that like to get rid of them entirely. I think that's just a story point, and I really hope that's not what she means by what you're saying.
Well, like I said, I could be digging deep. It's what I think because of the past record and what she's been doing. Obviously, we're gonna have to see, and you would think, and it kind of sucks because you would think the Jedi would, that would have been a problem when like Luke was creating his Jedi Order. Why are we worried about it? How many years it was after Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
To where they're at now.
I'm sure that was the concern, you know what I mean? And they were trying to get into it. In The Last Jedi, like I said. But people didn't like that. No Jedi? What? Luke abandoning his nephew? What? No way. It's too different. People didn't like that shit. I love that.
Is she hitting the repeat button then?
I think they're gonna probably try and tell that now in a more not so different way, quote unquote, to where it doesn't scare people.
So she's doing a do-over, you think?
Probably, with Rey and whatnot. Which again, I fully admit that should have been a Luke thing because of the era. You know what I mean? People in the Star Wars universe at the time were just like, well, the war is over, but Luke is the only Jedi. He's kind of this big ass legend,
Mm-hmm.
And then he redoes his order, but it's not big enough because he was just training younglings. It wasn't big enough to where it once was before the fall of the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
But people by then barely even remember what the Jedi were like 20 years later.
Yeah, because it's been so long.
Well, yeah, it's either people were too old and they were just fairy tales at that point, or you were a high profile person and you knew that they were still around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like Luke was just this legend, like they said in Mando, he was just a legend, and then he shows up and stuff. But I think with Return of the Last Jedi, they were trying to get there to be like, dude, they don't need us anymore because they were betrayed by their people and whatnot, and whoever the fuck. But I think with Rey, when they try to do it, it's gonna be a little different. Hopefully it's not too different to where it scares people, but they're gonna try and retell it properly.
Yeah, it can't be too different, right? That just be
scares people. Bad. Scares people when things are too different.
Well, hopefully this isn't crazy different either, because I am I recently rewatched the original trilogy. I'm on the sequel trilogy right now, but like it just everything wraps up so perfectly for me by Return of the Jedi. It feels kind of like, I think The Force Awakens doesn't feel like it feels justified to have brought them back, but then as we go down, it kind of feels like, there's some stuff that I felt like should have been dealt with a while ago, than around the time where they decided to handle it. So I'm hoping that this one isn't gonna suffer the same fate, because I would hate to see, I'm always so skeptical about this stuff because, especially when it comes to somebody who hasn't really been delivering, you know what I mean? So that's just me though.
Maybe. I don't know. That's the thing, because I'm just like throwing ideas because I'm going off the quotes, and like what it seems to me is like, well, I agree, Luke should have been the one to kind of tell this kind of story. With Rey, it'll probably hit harder because she knew Luke, and Luke was kind of like the quote unquote last Jedi, and now it's finally, we're at the time where, like they said, it's a time of peace. You know what I mean? I'm sure the war is coming around the corner again. The dark side will unbalance everything and whatnot. But till we find out more, they're at peace. Do the Jedi need to exist? That's kind of the question. Which, I mean, if you ask me, yes, they should always exist. They were there to teach before, you know what I mean? Before the war, and they started becoming generals and stuff. They were there to teach and lead people. It wasn't until war started affecting planets that they were on where they were just seen as generals and mongers and fearmongers and whatnot. But no, they were always there to be peaceful and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's if you ask me that question.
I like to hear your opinion on it. But with this one, obviously we got a whiles away for this movie to come out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hope I'm not the only one who's worrying out there, because I feel like it's something worth worrying about. But with that being said, that's going to be our last topic of this episode. If, there's anything that we missed, anything that we should have talked about, any movies you guys want us to review, anything you guys want us to react to, if you guys want to support us in a big way, Josh, let them know where they can let us know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post when new episodes are up. You can hit us up there for engaging content. If you want to listen to us on the go, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or anywhere you get podcasts, at FilmBros Podcast. If you want to support us, Buzzsprout, you can subscribe there. Help us out in a big way to keep this show going and whatnot. Maybe make some improvements. That's up to y'all. You also get shout outs, which is a really cool thing, and exclusive content when we decide to start uploading that for you guys. At FilmBros Podcast, all that stuff is in our bios. Go ahead and check that out. And when it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
Yes, and we will be uploading our podcast on there as well. YouTube Music has officially launched the podcast option on their app. So if you guys have YouTube Music, be on the lookout for that. Make sure you guys follow on there as well. It'll be much appreciated.
Exactly.
But yeah, so with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.